Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me, save your toes and feet. 'Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. 'Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Yeah, come walk with me, save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come walk with me, save your feet and toes. 'Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your
Great
feet
Rising, y'all.
Yeah.
Great Rising. Get your chair. Get your mat. Get your weights. Jump on your bike. Great Rising. Hold on, y'all. The picture that's put on my Facebook page of the walk has the window showing and everything. Like, just stomped all over my illusion. Just stomped all over it. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. But if I had really a lot of people watching me, I don't think I could talk so freely. Hey, Diane. Always on a walk. All the time. Loretta. I haven't seen her in a little bit. You know, they just said like. Smith. Haven't seen a few in a while, but it bees like that. Let me start this engine. Much better, y'all. Can't you tell? Whew. But once everything relaxed, I can tell you, these muscles here, I have to look back, go back 2 months ago if I said the same thing. When you roller skate, it's these muscles and these back muscles that you awaken. I was walking yesterday in the store, I was like, whoa. All, like from here down, like all this power. Wow. The human body is awesome. Y'all know I love my human form. I ain't got no problem with it. Never did. I had to be taught that there was something wrong with it. I was like, oh. Great raw isms. Whew. Even though I ain't seen no orb in the sky. Well, I just want to remind y'all that I ordered cassette tapes so I can record on my cassette tape thing that I use for the ancestors. HR 40. So hopefully next week we can listen to it a lot better and I can hear what it's trying to say and what questions I need to ask the Congressional Black Caucus. You know? Anywho, I don't want you to forget that. And I want to remind you again that in the 70s, the 80s, whenever Jesse Jackson came out with I Am Somebody, I Am Somebody, he had to come out with that because America, as usual, as per se, all the time, was just treating us like trash, garbage. And the reason why they can do it is they said, well, your Harvard grads, your Princeton grads, and all them Mary, John, and Joseph, and all that stuff, them colleges, listen, they are taught not the true part of us, which is we go to the history of the Moors. But anyway, let's move on because I don't want to get the ancestors started. But I do. But I don't want to get them started on that specific thing. You got me? Anyway, they are taught they are superior, we are inferior. It's what they're taught. And the Scott Irish was brought to this country to be patty rollers for the king's African prisoners. Prisoner of war, the Moors, other tribes, anybody who fought against them. Just like Guantanamo Bay is where America puts its prisoners who fight against it. Well, they got that from the king. And that's how America was formed. So what I'm trying to say is, and the Scot and the Irish. Because they was fighting the king over there too, but he picked who was going to be over who. So it was the Scots and the Irish, and of course they made it, and blah, blah. That's why when I was small, I used to hear Sergeant O'Leary, Captain of this, and anytime I was like, wow. Anything with governing us, there was another word one of the podcasters said that I didn't write down. I was like, yes, that's a perfect word for it. They can legislate us. Their whole thing is they have to take care of us. The wee little animals. And African Americans and Africans, they don't get that. You say, oh, American, thank goodness we can't shake hands no more, so you don't have to put up with that farce. Because half of them still think they shake your hand, they turn black. I don't give a damn what kind of degree they got. It's in their blood. It's generational. Whew. And that's just how they are. And you run your ass down there. Oh, heal me, doctor. You are only an experiment. For surely they are not treating you. As I said, we can't heal you. But they can experiment on you. I remember, excuse me. I remember when I said to my eye doctor, I said, okay, I know I'm a lab rat. He said, but it was clearly there on the paper. If you want to have one eye treatment, it's $5,000. And if you don't got $5,000, you get the experimental drugs. Not the $5,000 worth. By no means. But he was offended when I said I was a lab rat. And I couldn't say to him, but it's right here on the paper you just gave me. So you see, I was an animal. And I was so much an animal, he couldn't say, oh yeah, you're right, it's right there. $5,000 for one shot. And then I asked him, I said, ooh, that must be a shot. He said, yes, but the state ain't gonna pay for it. The state pays for the experimental stuff. Or as I call it, the speed rack stuff. So when I said to him I was a lab rat, instead of saying, how astute. Oh, you read that and you got that? Yeah. I asked them to take that out because some people probably read that and get that feeling. Didn't say it. He clutched his pearls. We had an experiment. Okay, also I was at New Haven, Yale Medical Eye Clinic. Isn't that very the name of the school lets you know it's experimenting going on. But I'm not supposed to put that together. So he was offended. I remember when I asked my heart doctor, I said, can you refer me to a dietitian or something like that? This is going back years. And he said, I said, because we're talking about my heart and, diet and stuff like that. And I already exercised. I told you all it took forever for them to put that I exercise in the chart. And he said, no. He said, I'm here for your heart. I said, yes, but part of your heart is that diet and exercise. I do the exercise. Let me talk to a dietitian. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can do more. No. He was like, oh, black woman, if you start dieting and you're already exercising, what do you need me for? So he wouldn't refer a dietitian. So, but y'all think I'm crazy. I'm just, I love this human experience. I love this matter. Every night before I go to sleep, I let my body, my matter know that I love it. I've always loved it. It has never steered me wrong. We've been together. And if in my sleep we separate, know you were loved. And I just fall right off to sleep. Now I know y'all gotta do that blonde haired, blue eyed guy. Y'all have to I know y'all got to pray for the people that's kicking y'all. Whew. But I also know you were raised in it. And you have to fight your way through. You have to come out of the cave. Anyway, I said all this to say that in America, especially in the South, we're the Scot-Irish. And they said a lot of the American Revolution, not Revolution, the Civil War people ran up in the hills. They're hill people. And there's some low county people, but their whole thing is they hate African Americans so much that they put it on their books and on the law. It's a law that if you are caught in their area at sundown, it used to be they could hang you. Just don't be there. And the reason why they hung us was to let everybody know, don't come to this area, don't come to this community, don't come to this county. Now, I always know that. That's why I got the hell out of South Carolina, honey. Not to say we don't have it in Connecticut. Whew. And New York, I used to go through upstate New York, honey. Whew, please. I used to say, if the car break down, I'm finished. If the car break down, I'm finished. I'm out here. I'm up here in the mountains with the cousins, the northern cousins of those southern barbarians living in the mountains that do sunset laws. And I'm up here, and though it say New York, it don't matter. Barbarians are barbarians. So I remember really, I used to be driving with this thing. Please, 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 please. But you know, I was driving an old French lady. So I figured maybe she could do a little something if we break down. But I was like, whoo, they gonna cut me up, cook me, and eat me. Yes, they do. Y'all need to stop giving them so much grace. Get your head out the Bibles and know what you're dealing with. Look at their history. Look at the Scott-Irish history. Look at Viking. That's what they do. Anyway, I used to be so scared. Well, she used to say, you want to go up to, what is it, Copac? Up in the like towards the Berkshire Mountains. Whoo! I was like, oh Lord, they ain't never gonna find my body. That's living in America. That's living in America. Yes. Yes, honey. And we're not being extreme. Not being extreme. So they have these sunset towns. Oh, let me tell y'all, when I was a child, I told you that time they pulled my father and stepmother over in the car. We were sleeping in the back. We had enough sense. I just remember opening my eyes. I sat behind my father. I just remember opening my eyes and looking and seeing that gun to his head. And I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. They ain't never gonna find us. They ain't never gonna find us. And we just laid there. We were trained. We just laid there and he showed the license and stuff like that. And had to give him some money. And that's why we're alive today. Yes. Whew. But oh, y'all say them days have changed. So they have these sunset towns. See, that was the fear. What if you pulled over in a sunset town? And let me tell you something that was real. The fear of running out of gas was a life or death fear. Now like, oh, I ran out of gas. That's how white people do. Oh, I ran out of gas. Oh, I'm just going to walk and see if I can find some gas. That wasn't for us. Somebody had to walk and you had to hope they make it. And everybody else had to crouch down and let the car look empty. Cause some patty rollers, it's in their blood. You don't understand. Some are police, some aren't. They still patty rollers. They think they're the governor, the law, everything. And it backs them. We could have been killed. Every time they would say, that's why I probably stayed down south. Every time, spring is in the air, y'all. Every time they say, let's go down south. So I think that's why I wound up staying down there. Somehow, you have a community area you can try to stay in. And you stay away from them. Yes, you do. You have no idea how... The world has no idea how barbaric these Americans are. And these, please. Many bodies. So, I brought that up to talk about Raheem Carter. You're lying to yourself and to other people if you are saying that these murderous racists don't exist. But they don't consider themselves barbaric murderous racists. They don't consider themselves that because there's laws on the books that tells them it's okay. It's okay. And the hillbilly barbaric cousins in the Congress and the Senate says for them it's okay. So I'll probably have to save this for the second half. So I'm sitting down talking. Oh, did I drop the most important piece? Okay. Raheem's stuff fell to the ground. I gotta pick up on break. They say that after they chased Raheem, beat him up and everything, they took his bones and threw him in the pig's pit. But I'm smarter. Honey, they ate that man. They ate that man. You have no idea the barbarism that's going on up in them southern states. You don't understand the hatred and the history. They cook us up and eat us. It don't make no difference. Nothing happens to them. They said animals got to him. And they was right. Plucked out his teeth. And they said the animal cut off. They said when he was found that he had his penis stuffed in his mouth. Now we know that's an old Ku Klux Klan move. When they say they have modus operandi, how killers act, that is a Ku Klux Klan move. That jealousy over the African American man's penis is again in the blood. So whenever they was able to get hold of one, the first thing they wanted to do is see his penis. Then they get penis envy and they cut it off and stick it in their mouth. That's what they do. Tell you, those barbarians. That's what they do. Pulled all the man's teeth out of his mouth. That's what they do. Oh, our break is coming up. Yes. And I'll tell you the other half. Ooh. Hey, let me pick up these things first, right? Ooh. Going down ain't smooth. Coming up ain't so smooth either. Oh, I love spring, but spring, the stuff. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I gotta disconnect.
Power on. Bluetooth ready to pair. Bluetooth connected.
Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all. trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Yeah, come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. Oh, beautiful for something, 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 and amber waves of green. A purple mountain majesty above the fruited plains. America, America. That's as far as I'm gonna take it. Oh, and something from sea to shining sea. So I talked to her. It's Fayetteville, Mississippi, and the world was always told. I know when I was growing up, I was scared of us. I was scared of us. I done told y'all before I tried to listen to podcasts, African American podcasts, but it's so regular for me because that's all they publicize. When I was growing up, especially in East New York, and when I got down south, the only people who did crime was us. And maybe politicians that would be on the national news. But if it was local and stuff like that, please. White people just stole. They call it white collar crime. They just stole. We did everything else. Every time somebody was killed, there was always a black person running from the scene. Always. Always. So, I'm talking to the ancestors, and I'm saying, your ancestors, your descendants aren't going to do anything. I tell them all the time when I sit there and we be vibing. I was like, it was last year with Ahmed Aubrey. They always start the same shit the same way. They are not innovative. They don't believe in educating themselves. They are barbarians, and that's what they do. At sundown, if you're caught in their town, they will kill you. And it's on the books. It's known. They just need to start putting it places so people know where to go. There was this girl from Jamaica. I don't know how she met these hillbillies. And she was the only one at the party. And the next morning she was dead. They said she fell off the balcony. She said,
She was in a sundown town. They killed her. They had to. She wasn't supposed to be there when the sun went down. And they said she fell off. There's a few more instances. They need to put it in, especially you talking about the NAACP, do something. Put where there's sundown town. Where the barbarians are. If you are caught in those towns, when the sun goes down, the barbarians will attack you. And that's what happened to Raheem Carter. They have to. That's what happened to that Jamaican girl. They have to. It's all they know. So I'm talking to the ancestors, and I said, and they said, oh, people was protesting. And I said, ancestors, these Hatfields and McCoys, and these black Hatfields and McCoys, the same response, the same action. So then I said to the ancestors, I was like, especially these ones from remembering slavery. So many generations of totally being nonviolent people, other than against themselves by design. And I said, y'all don't know to do nothing. That's why maybe this shit keep going on. I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just saying that you didn't see the whole big picture until you was dead, until you was energy. But as long as you were in that matter, you couldn't see the big picture. And then I said, I need to connect into some other ancestors and wrap around, jump right into my head. Wrap around. He would go speaking all over an activist. He said the only way it's going to stop this is that all rise from ashes. And I said, Rob, you don't understand. These folks here are so trained that they is praying for the people in the sundown town and for the people who killed Raheem Carter. They're praying for them. They're sending out energy to make them stronger to do more. So all they're going to do is nonviolent protests because they sent out energy of protection to the people who's attacking them. So, Rappy Brown. So I started thinking, and he popped in my head, and I was like, yeah, the activists from the 60s. I know I don't care what these Hatfields and McCoys say. I know when my man and energy separate, I want to be flying around this country. You know, like them old Roman movies when they pull up their dead warriors and they on their chariots and the chariots full of flames and they drive the whole place burning. I want that to be me. I want to be that one that goes across this country and freaking levels it. I want to be that energy. Because I know y'all ain't going to do nothing. And I'm too old. Oh, I protested. Okay? But So I said, Rap, you gotta do something. Only the dead people can help us. The living is too well trained. They, like I say, I used to sit in that cult and I used to say, pray for my enemy. Pray for your enemy. Pray for those who attack you so they can attack you again. So I told the ancestors, your descendants ain't gonna do nothing. They're too well trained. They are too well trained. So the guy said in Taylorville, because they was marching, and he said, okay, if they come back here, I kill them all and send them apes to what? And send them apes to pig hell. Now they said Raheem went to the police department. Went to the police department and asked for them to escort him to his hotel because someone was chasing him. And they said, boy, you must think we's a limousine service. The day I put an alive N-word in my car, that'd be the day that this police department ain't no more. And they sent Rashim on his way. And you know what I know? They called him and said, he out there, boys, come and get him. It was sundown. And he was in their town. They just need to put notices up. Apparently, his family been living there all them years. Didn't know that. Raheem, because of the pandemic, was just trying to get some money up to go back to his restaurant. I am. Boy, you say you had a restaurant? So you think you one of them highfalutin ones. But this is sundown. And then sundown, we kill you darkies when we find them here. That's what they do. Stop being shocked. Please. Upstate New York, upstate Connecticut. Listen. They're northern barbaric cousins up here. You got the ones in the hills of the south and their cousins in the hills in the north. I don't think it's a bad thing if they tell us where they are. I don't think it's a bad thing if they list, if the government puts out a list of sunset places where you can't go to. There's no need to change them. It's in the blood, their blood. Let them stay there and eat themselves out. But what I say is, cut off the Social Security checks. Cut off the government's funding. Because you see, that's our taxes too. Fuck it. We the only one to pay taxes. cut off any kind of aid, food stamps, anything. That police department cut off all funding. All funding. Let them take their sunset law, roll it into a cone, and stick it up their ass. But you see, they ain't gonna do that. Because you see, they all cousins. And when them cousins, when them people came out of that mountain, came down from the hills and climbed up that Capitol building, and nothing, as far as I was concerned, I was told they were supposed to be shot, killed, shot. Nothing is being done to them. They climbed the Capitol building because of an orange slime. We have more reasons than that. But I keep telling the ancestors, their descendants, they into killing each other. And I said, that's why I'm calling on y'all. And they said I have to go more towards the revolutionaries. Like Denmark Vesey's is so far back. Nat Turner, so far back. Jim Brown, so far back. So far back. And I have to come closer. And that's when Rat Brown. And I said, well, come on, let's get the Rat Brown in then. Y'all look up his doctrine. Or Rat Brown, jump on that chariot, lit up, and go across this country. Yes, all who start from ashes start fresh. When them hurricanes go through there and wipe out everybody, everybody got to start from the beginning. Apparently, that's the only way to reset these barbaric Hatfields and McCoys. Dems, Republicans, it don't matter. So, ancestors got to do something. I say, I'm with Rat Brown. He said that is the only solution. He said that back in the 60s. He said it's the only solution. Rat Brown, all the amber and the ways of green. Rat Brown, the purple mountain majesties and the fruited plains. Rat Brown. The animals will make it somewhere. They'll know how to go. They survive stuff like this all the time. But all need to start from the beginning. And I tell the ancestors, their descendants ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. But go out and shoot each other. Or shoot their girlfriend. Or shoot their mother. But everybody ain't going to shoot and go after. It's the same color as them, so don't worry about it. They took them to church and sent them in church every Sunday and told them exactly which way to kill and who to kill. I remember, I can't think of that guy's name, who went and killed his son on the altar. And that was the start of, I can't kill you. And sitting there and I'm like, what? He took them to the, and killed him for what? And I was like, that's not the message. the message is for us to kill one another. And at 65, and them folks that's been sitting there in those pulpits, hearing that pulpits or pews, hearing that story, that's why you have so many African American men killing women. You set him in the pew and you taught him. And then you married him and you put him back in the pew. And he beat you up and killed you in the kids. And you don't understand that the pew is the cult. So, I don't want to say rest in peace, Raheem. I'm sure he don't want that. I'm sure he should want revenge. They said the story going around in town that the pigs ate them. But is the pigs humans? Is that the way of them saying we ate them? You have no idea how barbaric these Americans are. You have no idea. So, y'all gotta know where y'all going in the South. You gotta know. And we got no political party, but I'm not waking up the ancestors to that. We're not doing that. I already did the research, and I'm too old. Gotta write up bylaws and all this kind of stuff. Gotta say. So I flip it back to the ancestors. Y'all do something. Rap Brown from the East Coast to the West Coast, like you did in the 60s. Because this is just a start, and you know it. And they're going to be out there marching and crying. That's one thing I remember about that Joseph Jett's book, Black and White on Wall Street. When he thought that he could steal with the white people. Shocker! They got him. But in the book, Joseph Jett said when his father was looking at the civil rights marches, he would jump up and hit the walls and say, "Why won't they fight? Why won't they fight?" I stopped saying that. Because they ain't. They ain't. They ain't. They ain't. Just like the people from Guantanamo Bay that's over there in Guantanamo Bay now, if they're able to have kids or have their wives or a situation where they're able to mingle, the rage that their parents had to attack America that got them into Guantanamo Bay is not the rage that their children are going to have. They'll have less of it. And every generation after that will have less of it. Even though they're all living on Guantanamo Bay, like 100 years from now, they still living on Guantanamo Bay from what their family did, but they don't have no hate for them. But they can't get off Guantanamo Bay. They didn't attack America. Their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents attacked America. But they'll stay on Guantanamo Bay. And that's how African Americans are. And the more they do to us, that's why I'm calling on the ancestors to do something. Because that they're not gonna do nothing. They done poison the water. They done put on the orange piece of shit to do everything he can. They done release viruses. They done did everything. They still cooking up a lot more. But your descendants ain't gonna do nothing but pray for them to get better at attacking us and better at doing stuff. I know when I have a matter and energy separation, I got shit to do. Don't give me no going home bullshit like that. Just say, oh well. I'm gonna get busy. I may not can get you here, but I can get you there. Just burn up everything. Tuck in your elbows, not up nor down. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Most good luck. There's faults running all through this country. You can't, the rates that you have, you can't do enough to start shaking these votes. Especially down south in them countries, flipping them barbaric hillbillies out they mountains and sending them down into craters. Damn. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't go looking in them Kentucky mines and stuff, and them Alabama mines and stuff, they done dug up everything. You can't do a shake.
Yeah. Come walk with me.
You can't do a shake.
Save your feet and toes.
Where it collapse everything.
Yeah.
Where a town
come walk
falls
with me.
into the abyss.
Save your
From the
feet
holes
and
they done dug.
toes.
Digging out coal and
If I start
mine.
walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose.
That's it for us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Come walk with me.
Let's come on a walk. Oh, say his name. Raheem Carter, because you're finna say more. But I'm going to keep calling on the ancestors because I know y'all too busy praying for the ones that attack us. Have a great day. Like, comment, share, tell a uncle, tell a auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend.